All right, everybody. I just can't believe I'm making this video. Um, Over the past 3 or 4 weeks, I've put out this project that symbolizes my 10-year anniversary of when I started conducting. Um, and it's been really a lot of fun. The journey I've created, the memories I've made, um, the tough moments I've had, and the people who have always been at my side through this entire thing, the people who have supported me, all of that put together in this journey, it's really come out to be something that I cherish and something that I will treasure for as long as I will live. And I mean that a lot. So this video is going to be a reflection of this project and what I think about it, how much of an impact it's made on me, and I also want to give out some special thanks. So the way that I feel about this project was, it was actually earlier in the year 2024, so this year, that my mind just told me that I was approaching this milestone, and I knew I wanted to start doing something about it. And originally I wanted to try to make it into a massive video, and I wanted it to equal a possible longest video that I've made, which would have been well over 1 hour. And seeing as how that didn't go as planned, I just decided to split it up into different parts, different videos for each pieces I've conducted before, and even new pieces that I've conducted that I've implemented into the project. And I've conducted some of my remastered pieces, like the Madman's Dance, and of course 2 new pieces, Lucid Dreams and Skyward Spirits. Those 2 I wanted to implement specifically into this project, and I learned to conduct those just for this. Even though I wanted to make them into separate videos, I wanted them to be in the final project as number 3 and number 2 of my favorite pieces that I've conducted. Which now brings me into the first part of the project. So part 1 was my top 15 favorite pieces that I've ever conducted. And even though all of the pieces I've conducted, all of the pieces that I practiced over time were in some way a favorite. Because the amount of time it takes to practice and the amount of dedication it takes and patience, it adds up to become a favorite. But this list was made solely because I wanted pieces that actually touched me throughout my journey. And earlier this year, when I discovered lucid dreams and skyward spirits, those touched me, and I wanted them to be a part of that. So that was part one, and of course it ended with the final movement of Robert W. Smith's Third Symphony, Don Quixote, the Illumination, the final movement, which has to be hands down the greatest piece I have ever conducted, and nothing tops it in my current my current skill, I should say. So part two now, we're going to be moving into it was 7 of my own compositions that I've wanted to conduct. And a lot of these were written back in 2020. A lot of them I haven't even gotten to conduct yet. And I figured that this project would be the perfect opportunity to conduct those. And I'm so happy that they all turned out well. Like my first ever muse score piece, the Apanovitch March, named after my last name. And of course, as I said, the Madman's Dance, which was a 2023 remaster. And of course, finally, to end it off, the 2024 remaster of my second suite, Triumph of Glory. And I figured that it would be amazing to put that in there. And it fit. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to upload just the audio or the actual conducting video. But I decided to upload the conducting video because it fit. It just blended right in. And I wanted to save the audio until after the whole thing was done. But during the project, as you guys know, I hit 100 subscribers. And that's where the audio finally decided to hop in. I decided to put it out there for you guys just as a thank you. And it served as a reflection of 4 years ago when I first hit it on my former channel. So that was part 2. And then part 3, finally, we get into 11 of my oldest pieces. And this goes, it was split up into 3 categories. the first part of the list was the oldest pieces on this current channel. So Confluence, Wind Sprints, Marching Season, Lifelight from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So those pieces, all of those were the first part of the list. The second part were my oldest pieces on my former channel. So the Great Locomotive Chase, of course, is the oldest one on that channel. And then, of course, Rhythm Dance, Fivefold. Those pieces were made up the second part of that list. And then the final part are what I believe to be the 3 oldest pieces I've ever started conducting. Into the Clouds was my first piece where I practiced 3/4 time. And then for Fanfare of the Third Planet and Fire Dance, it was a very, very, very close tie, and I almost put both of those as 1.5 for the numbering on the list. So I would have just counted down from 3, 1.5, and 1.5 again. But it just felt odd. So I just put Fanfare for the Third Planet as number 2. And then I would argue that Fire Dance is the oldest piece, and possibly the very first piece that I've ever tried conducting. And both of them have the 4/4 pattern and the 3/4 pattern. So that was a great way to memorize both 4/4 and 3/4. Although when I started out, I just did 2/4 for every single piece. Even in the 3/4 sections, I just did 2/4 because I didn't know how to do those patterns yet. But so that's it for that project. Overall, it turned out to be very well worth the time, and everything fell into place just as it should have. I started releasing videos on July 31st, and I ended it 2 days ago on September 1st. So 33 videos, 33 days, nothing but conducting. Of course, with a smattering of little things in there too. Like my thank you video. And of course, the audio for Triumph of Glory. Those were sprinkled in there. And now I want to move on to my thanks, my special thanks. Even if I didn't have the support of people, I would still do this. Because I knew that when I started conducting, I knew that it was something that I really wanted to do. And I originally wanted to make it into some sort of career. But for right now, it's just staying as a hobby. And I'm perfectly fine with that. It's a hobby that not everybody can say they have. But it's the support of you guys on my channels that have allowed these channels to grow. This channel and the other channel. It's you guys that have made positive comments on my videos, telling me good job, giving me recommendations for various pieces. Some I've done, some I still have yet to do. And it's all of you that allowed these channels to grow. And I knew that when I started conducting, I wanted to make a video about it. So back in 2017, I used my tablet and the horrible recording quality. So that first video of me conducting the Great Locomotive Chase by Robert W. Smith, that was a very rough recording. But if it weren't for that video, if it weren't for my interest in this, I wouldn't have gotten this far. And the fact that I've gotten noticed by great conductors and composers over the past 10 years, it makes me feel loved and noticed. And I love knowing that my videos are out there. And the whole purpose is to allow people to learn how to conduct a piece. If they're starting out as a conductor, my videos are out there as a guide. But otherwise, they're out there just because they're out there. And I love contributing to the musical world, and I want to continue being an inspiration. But thank you guys for making these channels grow. And of course, I want to thank my family, my musical family. That's also contributed in huge ways. And of course, my teachers, my music teachers, and my marching band friends, and friends that I've met in concert band. Because of this musical world and the way music works, it connects us. And it's meant to unite us. That's how it works. Everybody, everybody has to do with music in some way, because even if you're listening to it, you're still allowing yourself to be inspired, because that's what music does. And because I grew up with a musical family, and because I grew with the friends that I've made over time in band and marching band. And even choir kids and orchestra kids, and we're all connected through one thing, and that's music. It doesn't matter what ensemble you're in, we're all connected because of music. So it's my thanks to all of them for helping me feel connected in that way, and for helping me feel involved. And the last person I want to thank is the person that inspired this whole project, Mr. Gary Ciola, who was my former band director back in middle school. He passed away back in 2018. He was only 61. But for over 30 years, he was the head director of bands at the school district that I went to. And his impact just worked on so many levels for so many people. And he was loved. And he had an amazing sense of humor, a sense of musicianship, and a sense of style. He would always show up with a sweater and a tie. And he always showed up with his Coke Zero. And all of that was without fail. He was an excellent teacher. And from watching him, that's when I got interested in conducting. And then when he passed away, or possibly even before, it was the first time that I got to speak to his wife. And I told her that he was the inspiration for me to start conducting. And now I'm here on this YouTube channel with this journey of 10 years. I really just don't know how to think, and I don't know how to express it more. But all I can say is thank you. And all I can say is I appreciate everybody, all of you guys and everybody out there who I've talked to that has a love for music, no matter what kind of music related thing that you do, whether it be just listening to it or playing it, conducting it, or composing it. No matter what role you have in this musical world, you're being a part of it, and you're helping us to stay connected. And that's one of my goals. I want people to feel connected. And that's the most important thing we can think about even now, in this tough world. we have to think about all the positive things that can come out of music and all the things that can come out of inspirational books or pieces of writing or articles or something like that that can help us to stay inspired. And that's all I wish. So I'm going to conclude this with one more message, and that's just don't give up. And I want you all to stay positive and stay safe and stay amazing. And I want you all to know how much I love you all and how thankful I am that I was able to do this. I couldn't be any more grateful. So that's it for this project. I will be releasing a new video, possibly tomorrow. That's it. So I love you all, and thank you again.